What's up, guys? We're on Spring Street and 6th Avenue. So let's take a walk real quick. I could. Oh, and Ethics Street is not that far because I'm not on Washington, West Houston. Island Street, First Avenue. All right, so today we're gonna talk about mental health in Manhattan. So we toured around the lower side of Manhattan. I started at Brooklyn Bridge City Park. And now we on 6th Avenue and Spring Street. I'm waiting for the M21 right now. And the 21 is supposed to be here in the next 14 minutes. And that's going to be the 9:30 bus. So I'm going to take this and transfer to the J and get off one stop. So that's what we're doing. We're going to take the J from here. So we're waiting for the M21 right now on 6th Avenue and Spring Street. So today we're going to talk about mental health. And like I was saying, mental health affects our community, and especially in homeless people that lives in the area. You most likely see them in the park sleeping in the park. You most likely see them sleeping and having a relaxing time, you know? But mental health affects our well-being, it affects our growth as well. So we're looking at mental health in a way of positive shape or form, right? So the one thing I talked about on my show was the impact of mental health and how it affects our minds. And the one thing people are struggling with to get rid of is smoking cigarette and weed. Weed develops a chemistry in the brain. With the chemistry of the brain, it develops into, they call it delusional, psychiatrical delusional. So we look at that in a way of, we look at it in a way of growth and the way of mental health mindset. Our mindset develops in a piece of triangle. So we look at the levels of triangles, like they have the mental health chemistry brain and the low mental health chemistry brain. And one of the mental health chemistry brain is it affects the way how we grow and affects the way how we live in life. And the first. So back in America, when they legalized marijuana and weed, they opened up a lot of CBC spots where they they legalize certain type of marijuana and weed. Marijuana is a sickness in the brain where the brain chemistry starts to decide. You used to get straight A's, and when you start smoking the weed, your brain chemistry starts to decline. So you start to get sick, you start to get weak, you start to go do certain things in your life that you don't want to do, you know? When you go to rehab, you tell them to quit smoking weed, quit smoking the drugs, quit doing this and that. It help you develop, it help you understand what it means to quit. If I say quit, you're going to quit. If I say don't do it, you know? And sometimes when you encourage a person not to do it, they end up doing it right away. And when you encourage them to change it, end up changing it right away. But I feel like in a world where we live in is where we can develop ourselves in the different patterns and principles of our life. So one thing about it is the life that we live and the love that we live in the nation is that we could develop in a way of, the way of reflection in our life and how we reflect on certain things. So right now we're on Spring Street and 6th Avenue. I'm waiting for the M21. It's supposed to come in the next 11 minutes. So we're going to take this bus and we're going to get off over by Exthwaite. We get up by... We're going to probably get off at East Houston and... East Houston and Exthwaite. Hold on. East Houston and 4th Street. And then I'm going to walk over to Exthwaite and catch the J train. So that's what we're doing. So I'm gonna get there at 9:41. And then I'm gonna get off or whatever. So that's what we're doing. So yeah, I'm waiting for the 21, like you see. My next assignment for the work. So if I get there, the next bus is 21 minutes. Right. And I think Barry's far. Oh shit, I'm not too far from Barry. So yeah, right. So, we gotta understand how mental health is. So the area where we live in and where we work at and where you work in environments where you can see mental health, it affects our way of living. It's our mind and renewal of our mind. The mind is that this. If we have a mental health mindset in our world that people live in and people shine on and people develop, it's a way how we develop our minds in a different perspective. And the way our perspective is, our mindset develops in different patterns and principles. And in our mind, we just have to understand what we do for a living and how we get to the position. So, yeah, we're going to look at that. So right now, we're waiting for the M21, like I said. And the next bus is in 19 minutes, I think. Wait. So it's going to depart in 9 minutes, actually. So we're waiting. So as I wait, I'm going to... I could either take this E train or the C train, one stop, or I could wait for the 21. So it's best if I wait for the 21. All right. So yeah, this is my job for a living. I'm a community producer. I supervise areas where I work at, and I actually practice how to talk on the camera. And people are like, "Oh, you do this for a living?" I say, "Yeah, I do this for a living," and I'm making money doing this for a living because at the end of the day, it's how I grow, it's how I survive, So right now we on 6th Avenue and Spring Street, and we waiting for the M21 bus. And I see you when I get to Ethics Street. So we're gonna head on our way to Ethics right now, and we'll see you when I get there. All right, take care.